Okay, let's take care of a slightly heavier subject here. This is mainly a response to Kelly Cadigan. I'm out at you on the Twitter posting of this one, but I'm given the benefit of the doubt that I think she's coming from a good place. Okay, for those who don't know, Kelly is a trans woman, born male, went through the whole thing, surgery, whole 9 yards. Okay, if you're willing to go that far, I will grant you the pronoun thing. Okay, at that point, you have so totally changed that But that's the marking thing of what I call legit trans, and you're playing into the thing here. Actual transsexuals, that's the, not transgender. That's bullshit. That is a current strange little identifying fad people are getting onto here. It's gonna the day of reckoning is coming sooner than you think on that kid. So you might want to be careful what position you're assuming right now, because it's going to come back and smack everybody real up hard inside the face, especially because lawsuits are already coming for mostly girls who got suckered into this thing, but a few guys whose lives have been destroyed by this ideology. And the thing is, that's kind of what the design was. This kind of thing, when I've come to the conclusion that a society is reaching peak corruption when it starts sacrificing children and the ability to have more children. It's like, okay, this is it. We're now reaching a tipping point here. It's either turn back now and fix it, or we all fall. So, but getting back to the matter at hand, Kelly has been going on a thing lately about trying to people accept that trans women are just another form of woman. I'd say that while certain arguments can be made on that line, now is really not the time to be pushing that, because everything else has been so hyper politicized and driven over the top by the crazies, by the bearded perverts in miniskirts who want to walk into the women's room to hopefully see a naked girl. Now's not the time to really push this. It's kind of, especially it's us older, because she's in her early 20s. And the thing is, when you're in your early 20s, you think your generation has invented it all. You old folks don't know shit. Guess what? We have seen it all in some form or another. Okay? The labels may have changed, but we've seen different versions of the same damn thing over and over again over the years. And it eventually, it's like with an old Bill Cosby routine about with a kid squabbling, and you think you're getting blamed for something that wasn't here. When you get to a point, you're no longer interested in justice. You just want quiet. Shut the hell up. I don't care who's right or wrong on this. Just shut up. Leave me alone. That's where a lot of this comes from. But a lot of it is focusing on use of ladies' bathrooms and to a lesser extent, but still there, showers and locker rooms and gyms. And a lot of on the other side have gone, if you were born a man, no, I guarantee you. Look at Kelly. I think the bomb is definitely a babe here. Okay, and they've got the whole thing, top and bottom surgery. She's got an OnlyFans, for God's sakes. Okay. And really taking offense, people referring to her, constructed vagina as a rot pocket or an open wound type of thing. I have never done that. Okay, for the record, you can go back and check. Any guys have had with that? I've never used those terms. Okay, it doesn't get anywhere. And it's the thing. Does it count as a real vagina? No, because it's not. It is manufactured out of various body parts. Different things. And I think in Callie's case, because she did go on puberty blockers and stuff fairly young, they couldn't do just the usual penile inversion thing, because it never got to the point where because the depth is determined by what's your maximum erection level. And usually with a, let's say, with a male who has gone through male puberty, the whole 9 yards, and then they decide to do this thing. You got a respectable depth there because you're basically turning the peanut inside out and sucking it in, which is a little horrifying to think of. So I'm not going to go any further than that. But just to say, normally, you got a depth comparable to a natural occurring vagina. If you've gone through puberty blockers and such and didn't go through male puberty for the most part, guess what? You don't get much there. Because it never, you probably never went through a full erection, so it never stretched out that far. That's the kind of thing that Jazz Jennings is facing, because she went on blocking early, huh? And it, sorry, but if you only got, if it turns into basically a thumb dick, all you got is a micro penis, you're not going to get much of a vagina out of it. And so, to make up for that, some procedures involves removing a little bit of the colon to get a little more depth in there. And I think that's what Kelly's situation is, because again, she went on puberty blockers fairly early. And again, I don't know what details. Feel free to correct me in the comments on the posting on Twitter here, or come on YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel too. I'm going to go into detail on this. Because thus far, she has not decided to post any pictures from her OnlyFans to refute any of this. Who's got to take her word for it? And most people are not wanting to get photographic evidence of things. See? Look at this. Does this look unreal? God knows I've certainly seen enough of the failures come up on Twitter. Hopefully with a little warning there, this restricted. But some of them have just come up flat up and like, okay, I really didn't need to see that. Okay. And the other side too, on the phalloplasty, where they construct a what looks vaguely like a penis and testicles, totally non-functional. It's just rearranging skin and fat cells to form a thing, but it's you're lucky if they manage to run their urethra out through the thing, so you at least pee normally. But that doesn't always work. The complication rate on that is alarmingly high, like in the 60%. So that you bet, and that sort of thing. It's like, this is why a lot, even legit trans people, like I said, like Marcus Dip and Buck Angel and others, like, they have not gone through that route. I still can, like Buck Angel, I would be an idiot trying to call Buck Angel she. Full beard, bald, built like a Sherman tank. It's like, I'm going to call her. No. And Marcus has got a little, beard going there. So it looked a little weird, even though, still mostly feminine features there. But still, I'd be a little, you're calling Marcus a she at this point, too. Indie? No, sorry. If you're not going through all that stuff, then in the end, that kind of builds thing that you're not really trans. I don't care what the hell they're telling you, you're not. And you really got to rethink that. But that's a fight for another day. Let's get back to Kelly. And I've said this in tweets, okay? For the purposes of using the ladies' room at Starbucks, yeah, fine. You're not going to have a fight more like, unless you're going to announce to the entire people there. And it wouldn't matter anyway, because the restrooms at Starbucks are unisex anyway for the most part. It's just a matter of if there's anybody in there. But like using the locker room at the gym, it's like, you'd be an idiot trying to force Kelly into the men's locker room, frankly, okay? That's an invitation for assault, okay? And same thing with or the men's room at the bar. It's like, no. And same thing, trying to make Buck Angel use the ladies' room. It's like looking the way he does now. It's like, if you're lucky, no one's in there. But if someone's in there, there's going to be a lot of screaming and things being thrown. And, no. There comes a point where you got to have a little bit of common sense here. And again, it goes back to the Bill Maher thing when this thing came up a long time ago, several years ago. This thing's come about, restricting bathroom usage and stuff. That's it. If you look like a girl, use the women's room. If you look like a guy, use the men's room. And if you're a guy in a beard and a dress, hold it till you get home. Because at that point, you're just trying to start a fight. Okay. So seriously, it's like, don't really, why is everyone trying to start a fight on these things? Especially when it's like, once people start running the numbers here, they're trying to, you've made a miscalculation in how much influence you actually have. You're really trying the patience of the 99.9% of the rest of us. Because it's kind of, trans rights are human rights. What rights are you being denied? It's going backwards because people are tired of the bullshit. It's like the old gay rights activists. It's a job done. Once we hit the gay marriage thing, that's it. You got full legal representation under the law, full legal rights. What the hell was left? And they're starting to make shit up. I want a right to use whatever. No one has the right to use the bathroom they want. Okay. And the whole thing of sex is assigned. No, sex is observed. Sex is determined at conception. And is notated in the records when you come out. That is your gender. That is your biological sex right there. It is not assigned. Okay. That's the craziness we're getting to now. Baby pops out. Oh, it's a boy. No, I'm not so sure. Look at the penis. It's a boy. Shut up. Now, what you want to do with that information later on is largely up to you and your parents for the most part, which, sadly, into nowadays is also a bit of a crapshoot because the parents are so screwed up nowadays. Because with pseudoscience, it's gotten to the point where it's like basic biology is now being in question. Where we actually have to have a 2-hour documentary, What is a Woman? And you see these so-called experts floundering around, not answering a basic question. I mean, spoiler alert, but you get to the very ending. He asks his wife, what's a woman? An adult human female who needs help opening this jar of pickles. I mean, trying to think, if you want to be a boy, be a boy. No, you don't. There's not an option, okay? What kind of boy you want to be or what kind of girl you want to be, that is the determining thing. But you don't get an option, okay? And then Marcus posted a while ago. It's like, never claiming to be a man. It says he's a biological woman who has mental disorders such that he, the only way to live probably was to go through all these procedures and surgeries. But is not hanging on the thing. Misgender me. He's misgendered quite a bit. Okay. But it doesn't get, it's like whatever. Okay. Because that the testosterone only does so far for the voice. It's lower. It's out, but it's still not really down there to, baritone level. And he's actually going for sort of a twink thing. He's still, going after males. But it's like, not everyone who doesn't have bottom surgery is doing it for perverted reasons. They're doing it because it is not a good thing. It is complicated as hell, and it doesn't always work. And when it doesn't work, it's a horror show, and people have died from it. Okay. So I will refer to Blair White. Not, yeah. Something White. I don't know. I'll refer to Blair as as a she, even though still packing. Because, after seeing something like that, no, don't touch those. Fine where they are, okay? Very select audience for that audience. Other than that, no, it doesn't matter. there's a large part of this like it kind of goes the old professionally outraged are the ones pushing out, not just this but other issues too. It's like the race had largely been solved up to like the 90s, it's like pretty much that. Yeah, nobody was making a big deal of this. There were still some issues to be dealt with, but it was being done in a fairly logical thing and calm, and realizing, yeah, we fucked up a long time ago, but it's a long time ago. We're here now. Let's see what we can do now. But the professionally outraged can't handle that, because if the racism institutionalized had been essentially outlawed by the 1960s and 70s, especially the mid 60s. The Civil Rights Act of 64. You ever hear of that one? And same thing with equal pay for equal work. That was also this. That was Kennedy back in the early 60s. But some of these people, it's like this is how they make their living, is being activists and pushing causes and trying. If the problem's solved, they're out of work. They got to get a real job, and we can't have that now, can we? So that's what's pushing a lot of this. People are not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it in their own self-interest, because they got to keep the money rolling in, or they don't have a way to they don't have a living. And emotionalism is so easy to stoke. Logic is a detriment in their situation, because a lot of the stuff that they're pushing is like, that makes no sense. I mean, this is getting into a bit of a rant here, but it's like, a large part of it just comes down to a lot of people on both sides need to shut the hell up and let everything calm down for a while. And let cooler heads prevail here. And if we can just tell the professionally outraged, and in the case of the trans rights activists who were pushing, people are dying. No, they're not dying. Okay, that's another thing. That's one area where demonstrably lying out there. Suicide rates are not skyrocketing among trans kids. The suicide rate is the suicide rate for kids. It is sad. It is then we can do something about that. But don't blame it on them being trans and not being able to transition. In fact, the thing they're not talking about is the suicide rate for these kids after being transitioned shoots up about 6 times the normal population if they just left them alone. Because another thing is, like, a lot of people who say they're trans and 90, over 70 something, they grow out of it. I saw little montage there of Angelina Jolie's kid. I'm blanking on the name, but growing up, it was a kid. Declared as a boy. Okay, well, fine, let him dress up as a boy. Called him John, whatever. But now, as teenager going in there with him, the girl, long hair, dresses, looks fabulous, looks just like her mom. So a lot of people, criticizing Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie for letting them let her go through it, to figure it out herself. It's a part, it's a part of kids figuring out what kind of person they want to be in life. Is taking on these play acting, basically. They're pretending to be something like that. And sometimes it goes beyond just little kids. I mean, I still to this day I'll pick on things. Let's try this trait on for a while. I've tried different things, wearing hats or whatever. Do a little play acting. Try and be subtle about it, because and eventually you figure it out. Is this something I want to permanently make a permanent part of my life, or is it this ain't working too well? Let's try something else. Engine. Just noticing the playback. Engine had fallen off here. Yeah. Okay. But I'm just, getting to the point. I'm tired of this. Okay, I am getting tired. But I'm also not going to give up on a lot of listeners too, because it's like some of the things are too damn important. Too many people are being hurt, especially the kids. I mean, I know Indy's in her late 20s. She's not a kid. She's perfectly, but in her case, it's like, no, this is not gender dysphoria. It's the same old body dysmorphia that lands you in that clinic for anorexia for a while, and came out with the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, post traumatic stress disorder, and the laundry list of mental issues. And sorry, but that's what you're dealing with. That's what a lot of these other kids are dealing with too. They are, these disorders and autism and various, stress things. And certain elements within the psychiatric and medical community are pushing the trans thing either for monetary gain, because a lot of bucks to be made. The double mastectomy, that's enough to buy a car. A very nice car. And I expect reductions not as much. Total, radical double mastectomy. Oh yeah, they make some bank on that. Just like they're making serious money back in the 40s doing lobotomies. Medical hoaxes are nothing new. Again, everyone think they discovered something magical in discovery. No, it's another version of some crap that happened before, and we've had to deal with the same fallout again. The same destroyed lives. Okay, So it's like, oh, you're old. You don't. No, we do know, because we've been around the block a time or two in this thing, and we've seen what happens when this blows up in your face. Okay. That's another reason why I kind of like, the Picard season 3. The message, sometimes the younger folks are the most easier to sucker into the little, social contagion thing, and it's the old farts that have to come into the rescue and put everything back together. So, everyone just needs to calm the hell down, okay? Now, if some pot-bellied guy in a miniskirt with a visible hard-on wants to go in the ladies' room after your 9-year-old, no, stop his ass right there. No, you're not doing that, guy. But if, someone who clearly passes, like Kelly, someone who walk in the bathroom with a bikini and you wouldn't know the difference, don't worry about it. We're going to start doing DNA, tests before using the bathroom. Let's get real. And and the flip side, you're gonna stop Buck Angel, who looks like a biker, an old biker with a grizzled gray beard, bald head, and big beefy muscle. You're gonna stop him from going to the men's room? Guarantee you, nothing's gonna happen. That's what he's going there, pee, and come back out. So the larger issue, then in general. Yeah, use the bathroom you were and that matches the gender you were born with. But generalities break down at a certain point. You're gonna have these special cases where, well, what about this person? Okay, and that again, you do it case by case for the most part. Someone like Kelly, let her use the ladies' room. Someone like Buck and Marcus and everything, let them use the men's room. Someone like Indy, you're taking your chances either way, okay? You're better off sticking to the ladies' room. Because, no, you don't pass, okay? Unless someone's really being willfully ignorant. But you'll get away with it because 99 times out of 100, guys are in the men's room, they want to just take a shit or pee. They're not in there looking for any trouble. They just want to get over and get out and get back to what they're doing. That's why there's not so much in the men's room. That's why. What's the allure? You want to go to the men's room? Okay, whatever. Yeah, you got toilets, urinals, you got sinks. That's it. Maybe a hand dryer, or paper towels. The ladies' room. That's where they act. That's where you got a couch and it's very nice in there. Yeah. That's where I think. This shows the other injured. Why? Why do you want to? You don't know what it's like on the other side. Just like guys, we don't know what it's like to be a woman. And if you did know, you'd be like, no way. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Some of this stuff, like these idiots think they're having period cramps. No, you're not. You got a bad taco. If you're bleeding down there, and then you're probably hemorrhaging something because unless you were equipped with a uterus and functioning ovaries and a vagina, you are not equipped to handle a period and go through the cramps and everything else that goes with it. And even these simulator things they have where they'll hook up electrodes and let you feel what it's like to have period cramps. They've done examples like where hook a woman up to it. Yeah, that's about right. Hook the man up, same settings. He's rolling on the floor, crying for mommy. He's like, and people just kill me now, please. This is that, and that's a mild day. You don't know shit. But that is one, I think, somewhat positive outgrowth of all this thing is people are finally going to be able to, after we accumulate all this stuff and realize we don't know diddly squat about what each side does, okay, and what it's like to be on the other side. Yeah, you dressing up as a skirt and calling it a woman, but guess what? After age 40, you're still going to need that prostate checked. They may leb off, the veg and the veg and the sausage and two veg, but the intern is still in there. And frankly, you probably got a worse situation because one of the things with a prostate, why it goes bad, is if your sex life drops off and there's no release, that's still building up in there. You got to let it out. That's why like Seinfeld talking about the master of your domain thing. And early on, they're talking about women do it too. Yeah, it's different though. We have to. We're built that way. That's true. We are built. We have to constantly keep it going there. We got to flush the tanks once in a while. With women, it is an optional thing for pleasure for the most part. But guys, no, it is mandatory. We do it or things go wrong. Because we got to get that stuff cleared out, and enlarged prostate and prostate cancer, testicular cancer. You got to keep the things going. Otherwise, things get sour and go bad, turn cancerous, and things guess what? Now you can't do diddly. And that's where you get your adult diaper situation for the most part, because suddenly one of the things the prostate does is a nice little stopgap on the bladder. That's gone. Yeah, you're strictly on muscles at that point. Yes, I'm talking a little at my ass. I'm sure somebody's going to come in and slap my hand. That's not why I don't. Well, whatever. Okay, this is what I'm seeing it now. Either way, I know I have done some study on the prostate thing. It's like, yeah, you gotta dump the tank once in a while. Okay, you got to do it periodically. Several times a month at least, or you're risking things going sour. And guess what? When the donut turns to a bagel, you got problems. All right, I've been ranting here for a while. And as of this taping, but if by some chance India's watching, yeah, Sprite, 7-Up, or ginger or something, and saltine crackers. It'll get that stomach calmed down quite a bit. Because I don't want you getting hurt. And again, you need to do something about your mods because they're not backing you up. They're going to get you killed if you don't really nail it. So we'll talk at you later.